Welcome to Navigating Texas Workforce Commission for Musicians, an interactive panel discussion. Fridays at 1 p.m. Brought to you by the Austin Federation of Musicians and with the Unemployment Compensation Advisory Committee. The Unemployment Compensation Advisory Committee are members of the Austin Federation of Musicians, Local 433 of the American Federation of Musicians, aka the Musicians Union. Some of us work as contractor 1099 workers, and others work as employee W-2 workers in various aspects of the music industry.
The goal of this session is to share our experiences, including trials and tribulations related to the Texas Workforce Commission, or TWC, with other musicians in the state of Texas to aid in navigating the TWC application process. We are not experts in unemployment assistance. We are musicians.
The information contained herein does not constitute either legal advice or an official pronouncement or a position of the Austin Federation of Musicians, but rather is only the personal opinions of the panelists. The panelists do not give legal advice or make official rulings on agency matters, should not be cited as authorities in any matter before the agency or when dealing with agency staff about a case, and must minimize their involvement with administrative processes. They also do not give legal advice on any other matter, and any information they should give should not be used as a basis for taking any employment-related action. Before taking any employment action that could adversely affect an employee, or before using any sample form or policy you may obtain from this group, you should consult a licensed, private sector, employment law attorney of your choice. Okay, welcome back. It is June 26th, 2020, a year we will remember, certainly. Joining me today is Mark and Tony. Hello, guys. How are y'all doing? Man, go ahead and unmute yourselves now.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Excellent. Man, let's see. We usually just kind of go through these websites and remind everybody to check these websites out if you haven't already. Let me just read those down. It's the Texas Workforce Commission on Facebook. Their Facebook page is kind of their main place where they're disseminating new information. It is kind of tough to find on their website, but their website is also the official source of information. That's twc.texas.gov. There's also the Local 433 Musicians Unemployment Information Sharing page on Facebook, and you can find that from the Austin Federation of Musicians Facebook page as well. That's another good place to check. And then on our locals website, there's a COVID-19 resources page, and that's at afm433.com/COVID-19, and that has all of our recommended resources. And then one of the most useful things that we've added recently is Who Represents Me, the Texas version of Who Represents Me, and that's wrm.capitol.texas.gov, and that's where you can find out who your representatives are in the legislature and the school board and in the Texas legislature and the national legislature. So that has become pretty significant, but we're going to talk about that in a little bit. First off, let's talk beverages. I'm doing coffee today. What do you guys got going on here? You got any beverages?
Green tea is the solution.
Excellent.
Dr. Pepper.
Whoa, very Texas, very Texas. I love it. Right on. Okay, let's see. We don't have any email questions this week. Let me check that. Nope. Not there. We do take questions over email and on the Facebook page comments, and also, of course, on the live stream comments, but none there yet. So let's continue on. But anybody who's listening, we're more than welcome to join us there. I think we want to just start off. If you don't mind, Tony, just maybe sharing a little bit about your story, because you're kind of the most recent here, and you saw the guidelines. We don't want to give away any identity theft type material, but but how was your experience? Like what happened with you getting on the system?
Well, I will say with Aaron's help, it was easy.
Cheers.
Yeah. I was really worried about it because of my income comes from so many different sources. Of course, we talked about this. And when I contacted you, you said, no, it's not that bad. So, it went as smooth as could be for me anyway. Now, you got my email today because I filled it out on
I
Wednesday,
did, yeah.
and I didn't know how fast the process happens when they give you the money. But I've been checking my bank account and the correspondence inbox,
Mm-hmm.
and I haven't seen anything. So I don't know if that's good or bad.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it could be either one. When you talk about Wednesday, though, that was you didn't apply on Wednesday.
Right,
What was
right.
it that you did? Which part of the process did you do on Wednesday?
That was just a request payment. That was my first request payment.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The
Probably be Monday. Probably be Monday.
mm,
Okay.
Monday, Tuesday. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah. And that's one of the things that we keep going over, much like when we teach music lessons. You keep going over the fundamentals, um, and we just keep talking about how the process works because it's kind of obtuse. It's not user friendly necessarily at all. Can you tell us when did you start the process, Tony? How long ago was that?
That would have been maybe a month ago
Oh
because it
wow.
started the. Yeah, it was less than a month because we started the process, and then of course I had to wait for information to start coming back from them,
Mm-hmm.
and that was about within a week, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then some of the documents was a little confusing, and you helped me with that. And then when I got the confirmation that it was they had accepted it, my first request payment was this Wednesday.
Oh, that's
So
right.
that would have been like I think it was 2 weeks from Wednesday when I got the acceptance.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because it's always in a cycle of 2 weeks, right? So once you
Hmm.
got the acceptance, you had to wait 2 weeks to make your first payment request. Yeah, yeah. So that's cool. All right. So we don't actually know if there's any money coming in there yet, but we're rooting for you. And
Yes,
yeah,
thanks.
man. What was complicated about your income, just kind of in generic terms? Can you elaborate a little bit about that? Like what was it 1099 or was it W-2 or was it?
It was all of the above. So I mean, I am a professor at UT, so that's a W-2 income. But
Oh
then
yeah.
I also play with the symphony,
Mm-hmm.
so that's also W-2 income. But they canceled the season in March. So that some of the money they're paying us, some of they're not able to pay us, so that's lost income. And then of course there's a lot of 1099 income that I get.
Mm-hmm.
Music festivals that I go play, outside jobs, and of course all that went away.
Mm-hmm.
But then I also have my own LLC.
Mm-hmm.
So I use the LLC, like I have a little web business on the side, and that's primarily for the LLC. But a lot of my 1099 income, I put it into the LLC so that I can pay myself like taxes and pay myself a W-2. So
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
it's a really complicated revenue stream that I have,
Yeah.
and I was really worried about. That's why I didn't think I would be able to apply. But actually, no, it was the LLC made it a lot easier.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it kind of organized all those streams into one there, even though you
Hmm.
still had multiple other streams, of course. Yeah. Yeah, and I think you're right. Probably, 5 or 6 months ago, you probably wouldn't have been able to apply. None of us probably would have been. But now, this is how they're getting help to us, so we got to adapt to the system. Yeah, awesome, man. Well,
Tony, did you apply for uh, payment protection also? The
PPP loan?
Yeah.
Yes. Funny story about that.
oh,
I, I
we
I
love a
just talked to
story.
my bank today. So um, I applied for that through my LLC, um, and my bank took it, and then I did the calculation, and it's a couple $1,000 that I was going to get, and not a lot, but okay, I'll take it. And today my bank contacted me, and they said after going through my Schedule C, that all I'm qualified for is $400.
Hmm.
Ah,
Yeah.
wow.
So
I
that
kind of
sucks.
had the same. I didn't actually go through the process of applying for it, but I kind of reasoned out how much I would end up getting, and it was so small that I thought it wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean,
I, I,
everything does help, but yeah, I know what you mean.
I think it really depends on your bank. Because I've
Really?
talked to some people that, um, I mean, they're not even musicians; they're just friends of mine,
Mm-hmm.
and we're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars that they should have, I mean, lost income, and banks wouldn't. Uh, they said no, you don't qualify. And then I've had other people that either for that amount of money or a lot less than that would apply with a different bank, and some of the banks were like, "Oh, we can actually give you more money than you're asking for."
Yeah.
So it's really dependent upon the bank that you go through.
Um, tell, did you? I mean, don't tell us which bank or anything, but did you go through the same bank that your LLC uses, or was it a different bank?
No, good question. So I have a business account with a different bank,
Mm-hmm.
but I wanted to use the bank that I deal with for this, just because um, I just there's customer support is a lot better.
Yeah.
So in order to do that, the first thing I had to do was set up a business account with the bank.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
That
that was the first thing.
that's one thing I've been hearing from some musicians who have been able to get the PPP loan is that when they use the bank that their either their LLC or their business account is with that they usually use for their
Hmm.
business, it was easier because the bank could already see like what was going in and what was coming out for the
Yeah,
whole year. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Like if the customer service isn't good, then you
I
can't
know.
do anything, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Well,
I don't think that played into the little amount. I mean, I think it's just, yeah, I mean, all the banks have different entities looking at your paperwork,
yeah.
and I don't think there's like a stock formula that they use. They just kind of make up their own rules, so it depends on the bank.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one of the problems with the program is that it winds up being the decision of the bank whether or not they think it's a risk to do business with you or not, which
Yeah.
we're kind of used to as musicians, right? That
Hmm.
decision not going our way because of the complexity of the income streams and how it all gets combined in the end or not. So
Yep.
yeah. What about I have seen some musicians talking about economic injury disaster loans that are through the Small Business Association. Have you guys heard anything about those?
Mm-mm.
I think
That's new to me.
I think our brother Andre in the trombone section was posting a little bit about that. Thank you for doing that on Facebook. And some folks have been able to get that as musicians. I haven't tried it yet, but I'd love to hear if you guys know anybody or if you have uh, succeeded in that. Please let us know because we would like to report on that for sure. Yeah, anything that helps, even little amounts of money. It everything helps as usual. But
Yeah, while we're on that subject, today is the 5 o'clock today is the deadline for Austin musician disaster relief application.
oh yes, thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah. So if you're interested, that's $1,000 grant. I did the application myself about a week or 10 days ago, and it's a somewhat demanding application. It's not just sign your name and provide your social security number. You have to give them a fair amount of information,
Yeah,
but it's also $1,000. So um,
yeah, and they extended that
do that.
deadline.
Yeah, today at 5 o'clock is the
Okay.
deadline.
Yeah, and they extended that because not a lot of people applied at first.
Well, no, they ran out of money.
Oh, is that what happened?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, interesting. But they got another injection of cash or something.
Yeah.
And
That's
okay,
what I did. Yeah.
all right. The good thing about that, it is kind of demanding as far as the information you have to provide. It's I think bank statements and stuff is pretty detailed. But the good thing is that's it being administered by Music Cares, which is the Grammy committee that does that, and so that's a very trustworthy, established, secure organization. You don't have to worry too much about that. So yeah. Sorry about the noise there. I got a dog trying to burrow into the floor over here.
Oh,
Hey, man, you just never know.
Trying to
hey,
dig up all your stronghold down in there, your
That,
safe spot.
That's right. That's right. Yes, indeed. Oh
Hey,
man.
Aaron, I have a question for you.
Please.
So I guess you heard today on the news that the
Oh
governor
boy.
is closing all the bars
Yes, as of noon, it
as of
just
now.
happened, right? Yeah.
Yep. So, do you think this is going to play into them asking you for proof of searching for a job for unemployment in July? That
Oh.
rule's going to change?
Oh, Tony, that's excellent. Yeah. Oh, we hope so. Yeah, and that's one of the things on our docket today, just like it was last week, actually. As of now, I mean that is still scheduled to restart on July 6th.
Uh-huh.
Which it's the you won't have to report it until 2 weeks after that, but you're supposed to start tracking it. Now for self-employed people, it's supposed to be you're supposed to have to prove that you're making plans to restart your business. That's the quote: making plans or making preparing to restart your business.
How
Um,
do you restart your business if the bars are closed?
yes, yes, and the schools are closed, and
Yes.
the concert halls are closed, and the theaters are closed. And yes, exactly. Um, but it's not just us. It's actually everybody. It's really it's not fair to everybody now to reinstate that that requirement. And the AFL-CIO is fighting against that, and that's us too. We're all members of the AFL-CIO. Um, and so that's one of the articles that's linked in the description underneath this live stream right now. You can find the some news links, and that's one of them about how the AFL-CIO is fighting against that. It doesn't recommend that at all. So actually, is that there? Let's see, or is that on our Facebook page? I don't want to lie to you here, but it's one or the other. And yes, so the whole AFL-CIO is fighting against that, which is all the unions in Texas, um, because it's really just totally unfair. If you are a union member, we always we always mention this. If you're a union member, you don't have to show work search results anyway, because we have what's considered in archaic language a hiring hall, which in our case is a referral service. For the like the building trades, a lot of times it is actually like a room in their headquarters where people post jobs and go see, what's available. But for our union, it's a referral service, and so that means the union is always looking for work on your behalf. So you don't have to report that if you're a union member and that's on your TWC application. The question we've been getting recently, of course, is what do you do if you're not sure if that's on your TWC application? So we're looking into that as fast as we can through our legislative channels and things like that, because it doesn't appear you can do that on the website. So it looks like you have to call somebody or have them call you in order to get that put on there if you are already a union member. We are having some people join, but I want to make it absolutely clear that we're not recruiting on that issue, because we don't think that's a fair policy change at all. And so, yeah, but yeah, thank you for bringing that up, Tony. Yeah, that's another wrinkle in the story there. An amazing story of 2020, the year we restarted everything. Hopefully, yeah, yes, indeed. Let's see, what other things? I guess related to that, we've been talking about state senators a lot in these sessions, and we've gotten a lot of help from one state senator's office. But it turns out, Austin actually most of Austin doesn't have a state senator right now. It was Senator Kirk Watson for a while, and he retired in April. And so that's one of the things on the election coming up in July that we all have to vote on, no matter what conditions apparently are prevailing. We got to get out and vote there. So early voting starts pretty soon, I think next week. But that's one of the things on the news docket here. There are two candidates that look pretty good. Sarah Eckert is being endorsed now. That came out today. Is being endorsed by the Statesman. And then the other candidate that looks really good is Eddie Rodriguez, who's actually currently a representative in the House of Representatives for Texas, the Texas House of Representatives. And the Eddie Rodriguez campaign has been reaching out to various unions, including our union office, so that's a really good sign, because we do need that help from the Texas State Senate to get some of these things done for our musicians, because we just don't fit the mold. And we've gotten a lot of help from Senator Judith Zaffarini's office, but her district is really only the far southeast of Austin, and then it stretches way down to Laredo because of gerrymandering. So
Yes.
that whole gerrymandering thing is nuts.
Yeah.
So that's why we keep harping on the who represents me thing. Yeah. Have you guys been following the Senate race or any of the elections coming up next month?
A little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like a kind of a dangerous time to try to go out and vote, but that's
I haven't gotten my ballot yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I applied. Sent in to get a mail-in ballot. I haven't got it.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So
Hopefully it comes through. Yeah.
better.
There's a lot of mixed messaging about that, and eventually they figured out that you could do it, and I'm glad you did it. Yeah. I didn't send the application in because of all the uncertainty, so I'm going to try.
Well, it's very easy. It takes 30 seconds to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
might as well.
Might as well. Yeah, and it's much safer if you can do it. So. Yeah, I think it's. Do you guys know? Can you still apply for the mail-in ballot?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I did just 3 or 4 days ago.
Excellent. Well, that's definitely the recommended way. I think health-wise, you don't want to be standing in line during all this stuff. If they're going to close the bars, yikes, So.
Right.
Yeah. All right. What's the next topic here? There was a very interesting article on Sunday in the Statesman called "A Texan of Average Intelligence Seeks Unemployment Benefits." And it's very, very relevant to what we were just talking about. Did either of you guys see that article on Sunday?
No.
It was a journalist from the Statesman, basically doing exactly what we're doing right now, just kind of sharing his experience with the Texas Workforce Commission. And what's happened, he kind of shared, I'm not sure if he was supposed to share quite as much as what he did, but what they're doing there apparently is with some of the journalists at least, they're furloughing them 1 week a month, and then they're having them work the other 3 weeks. So this guy's been trying to figure out, okay, how do I file for unemployment just for that 1 week a month, And as we know, like you can do that, you just have to keep filing in the weeks in between. But even at the end of the article, it actually becomes clear that he actually hasn't figured that out yet. The whole filing every 2 weeks thing. It seems like anyway, and forgive me if I'm getting that wrong, but it's a pretty funny article, and it basically, he's sort of self-deprecating himself by saying I'm a Texan of average intelligence, but this guy's a journalist, and probably has an English degree or a journalism degree or something. This is not a dummy, and he's having a lot of the same problems that we are. So that kind of helps the cause a little bit, I think, and the solidarity with other workers, because that system is just, it's very old. It's designed to exclude people, to kind of shame people in getting off of the system, and we got to hang on like little possum babies and just and keep on being tenacious about this stuff. So that's linked in the description of the video on YouTube channel if you want to check that article out from the Statesman. What else did I want to mention here? Let's see. We talked about the bars already. Oh, and we talked about the endorsement. Yeah, so that's all the news stuff. I think that I had. Have you guys heard any other news?
Nope. Not to add to what you have.
What was that? What was that, Mark?
I don't have anything to add to what we've already talked about.
Yeah. Oh, the one thing I just remember the one thing that was there. It's on our local 433 unemployment information sharing page on Facebook. There's a link to it. But on Wednesday, our brother Renee Lara from the Texas AFL-CIO, he testified in front of the Texas Workforce Commission about proposed rules that the AFL-CIO has come up with for restarting business in Texas, and they were pretty much all rejected out of hand.
Wow.
but we have people in there, actually trying to give information to the TWC on our behalf as workers. So we're just going to keep on doing it, just like like we said, just like teaching private music lessons. you keep saying the same thing, and after a while, the student eventually is like, wait, didn't you say that 6 weeks ago? Yes. Yeah. So, man. All right. Well, I think that's all we've got for this week. I don't think we need to go over the process again, but we'll probably save that for next week. But we'll definitely do it again. Yeah. Cool. You guys have anything before we sign off?
I'm good. Good luck to everybody.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your stories, Mark and
Yeah.
Tony. And you, the listener or the viewer, if you're in music, please stay in music and don't give up because our profession has to survive this, and we can do it if we stick together and share information. So, all right, we'll see you next time.
Okay, thanks, Aaron.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.